really grateful that all of you are here. And Nikki is going to MC tonight, so I don't have to do a whole lot, but I just wanted to welcome you all. Thank you for coming, for being here. And I just wanted to say I'm so grateful for each one of you, the impact that each one of you have had in my life, whether known you a little bit or a long time. Each one of you mean so much to me. And the reason that I did this on my birthday, one reason is because I so love and enjoy each one of you, and this brings me delight to see your beautiful, lovely faces. But also the cult loves to mess with our birthdays and do a lot of horrific things. And I just wanted to say, you know what? I'm done with that. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have fun. I'm going to focus on who I am in Christ, not who the cult tried to make me be. And so that's really what this book is about, is the triumph of God's love. And so I'm just grateful that you all are here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our wonderful Nikki to MC tonight, and however she leads us. Thank you, Nikki.
All right. Thank you, Adena. Welcome, everyone. I am going to start out with doing a little interview with the star of this evening, Adena Hodges. I'm going to get right to it. She is the author of this amazing work, which is really unique. I mean, I just have to say that there's nothing like it. Some of us know that. Some people have actually said that, and it's really cutting edge. It's really, if a person feels in their heart that it's for them to read, it could really be life-changing in terms of connecting deeper with the true family, and if you're a survivor, with your healing process, and even if you're not a survivor. So on that note, I want to just ask Adena, and really this is actually something that I really want to know as well. You've spoken a little bit about in the past your journey with journaling. You did a testimony mountain with it with Jesse Zaboter, which I highly recommend. Go check that out. It's a really good testimony mountain about journaling in general. You also spoke about it with the testimony mountain interview with Joe, and here and there. But what inspired you? What was there a point where you said, you know what? I'm at a point in my journey with journaling that I feel the call to share it with others. And what was that call about? If it did come in a big, like, I got to do this, or was it a gradual thing? What was your process in going from a person that's using journaling for your own personal journey to, I've got to put this out there to the world?
Well, it was not anything I would ever do. And it came out of desperation. So it was kind of one of those, I would never have thought of using my journals and publishing them, that farthest from my mind ever. However, last year when I was still working on my paradox book, which I'm still working on, I was frustrated because it was like, it was taking me a while to get to it and get writing. And yet my journaling, I was doing probably, 20 to 30 journal pages a week. And so sometimes it'd be like, oh, if my book was only this journal, I'd be almost done by now, that type of thing. I would joke about that. And then I was in California actually with Nikki, and we had set aside some time to work on the paradox book, a whole month together. And then other circumstances in my life came where I just wasn't in a space to do that kind of writing. And one day I had journaled, but I was still in a stuck place. And this is a really key point, is the journaling is amazing, connecting with what I call the true family, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But we also need one another. And so usually I would be able to process through with a true family, and I'd be able to get out of those stuck places. But this particular day, I couldn't move forward. It was like I was paralyzed and weepy. And I was just like, I can't even move forward in this day at all. And I was pretty desperate. And so I messaged Nikki, or we saw each other where we were staying. And I just said, would you let me read some of my journaling to you? Because I just need to get something out to a real person and have that attunement. And so Nikki graciously agreed. And so we sat out on Chris's porch and I just read my journaling and bawled. And it was actually your idea, Nikki, because you said this could be a book. And so it was really your inspiration, Nikki, that started this journey. And, at first I was like, whatever, I don't think anybody be interested in doing this or interested in this. And then I went back and I was like, I wonder if there would be any value to this, because in my groups, I've encouraged people, this last year especially, to journal. But when you don't really have a model, sometimes it's just hard to press through in that. And so I thought, well, maybe there'd be some value in it. And so I took that weekend, and I read through basically a year and a half of journaling. And the Lord was just like, just pull out this piece, pull out this piece, pull out this piece, kind of organize it in with some different topics that survivors often experience, and just, see what happens. And it was so helpful for me in that place that I was in to do that review and be able to see God's hand in my life, these places where I'm like, I'm freaking out. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I want to hide. I want to die. And then, the Lord meeting me there so tenderly, so gently, uh, and just was so helpful for me. And so I thought, well, maybe this could happen. And so put it out to a few people. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And, I was waiting for them to go, oh, that's a stupid idea. That's crazy. And everyone was like, yeah, yeah. And so really, again, to me, this is a journey together. Many of you who have been with me this past year, the challenges that I faced. You've walked it through with me. You've been there for me. And especially Joe, my prayer minister, who has read the majority of my journaling, which I am so, so, so very grateful for. And so that's kind of how Windows into My Soul was born.
And I have to say that I say that to a lot of people. Like, I don't know how many times I've said, wow, that's an amazing story. That could be a book. And no one has ever actually taken my advice to before. I just throw it out there. It's like spaghetti on a wall. And I'm amazed that you actually took it to heart. Like, wow,
I listen to you,
someone
Nikki.
actually listened.
You have good ideas, and I really appreciate you.
What I'm so amazed by is that I'm assuming you thought about that idea and you connected to family, and it was like, it was a yes, let's go for it. And you dove in. I mean, literally within a week and a half, we had a rough draft that I was content editing. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. It's like, wow. I mean, you plowed through 300 pages. I mean, that's just that has to be there. I just have to say, I am just going to say this, that there is a divine,
Yes.
a productivity, a God-inspired, restful efficiency in this whole process, that it got out so quickly. And it was amazing.
And I think part of it too is I wanted to get it out as quickly as I could so I wouldn't lose my nerve, because it hasn't been easy, because it is very, very vulnerable. But I did that with intent, because I felt like survivors need to know you're not alone, to be validated. When you read someone's book, amazing story of people's changed lives, it's amazing and we love it. But what we don't often see is the wrestle and the struggle and just the raw part of that. And I wanted to make that available to other survivors to help them understand you're not alone. Even though I may look together, I have struggles too, and that, we're on this journey together.
So good. So good. So I have one last question for you, and then we're going to move over to Joe and have a little convo with Joe. That's going to be really amazing. If you had one bit of advice for a person who at this moment now, or maybe after reading your book, is inspired to start on their journey with journaling, what would that be? What would that bit of advice be? Just kind of leave it broad like that.
Take it slow, have grace for yourself. It is a learning process. Journaling was not easy for me in the beginning. I fought it. I didn't want to do it, which is the experience of many of you that you have shared that with me too. And that's the other reason I wanted to put it out, to go, hey, we can do this. It is possible. And so just start putting words on a paper and let it flow. Be wholly yourself, and then listen for the Lord's amazing voice, because you are so loved and so cherished. And that's what's helpful, is in the midst of our mess to hear validation and comfort and love from the true family that strengthens us to move forward in the journey.
Mm-hmm. Really, really good advice. Right. Awesome. We're going to move over to, we are going to have time for Q&A, just to let you know. So hold your questions. If you have a question, you can actually put that in the chat and we can review those. In just a minute, we're going to, just to give you I should have done this at the beginning, Q&A with a little bit with Adena, then Joe. Then we're going to have a little bit of a reader's theater, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to do Q&A. So either keep your questions or put them in the chat. We'll circle back around for those as well. Joe Getzinger, welcome and thank you so much for being here. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. And the first thing is kind of like an obvious one. First of all, do you mind if I do a quick intro of you? And then I'd like to hear about your experience and connection with this book. But Jo Getzinger is the founder of Care Inc. She's also the author of Divine Destiny, Prayer Warriors, and Prayer Warriors 2 prayer books. And I don't think that there's a community connection Saturday gathering where we don't mention that book, because it's been so instrumental and so life-changing, really, for so many of us. So honor you and appreciate you just for those works, and over 35 years of working with survivors as a counselor. And she also wrote the foreword to Windows Into My Soul. I want you to just maybe give a brief intro of yourself, if there's something that I missed, and just maybe tell us a little bit about your connection to Windows Into My Soul and to Adena.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me join you tonight. It's an honor to be with you. It's an honor to support this effort in producing such a wonderful book that Adena has bravely shared with all of us. The only thing I would share about the intro is it's the divine design, not divine destiny. That's
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just in case anybody's wanting to find.
Absolutely.
Sure. No problem. So I have been the prayer minister with Adena for about a year now. And I think right from the beginning, you were sharing your journaling pretty much. I had an opportunity then to see some of the things that were going on. It was very helpful for me to understand some of the conflicts she was experiencing. But really what amazed me was the journaling, the relationship that came out of the work. between the true family and Adena. I so appreciated that conversation. And I think, even if you're a survivor, you're certainly going to, I think, have a model to look at for how to do this. But even if you're not a survivor, so many of us long to have a more intimate relationship with the Lord, with the Godhead. And I just love how personable and open and consistent and wonderful they are in the responses. I shared when we talked on Monday for Testimony Mountain, I believe it is. That I wish everybody that I worked with do this kind of journaling, because it's so beneficial. And I think it really does encourage healing. It makes my job easier, really. So I love it.
I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'm going to read a quote from the foreword. You said, "I have provided counseling and prayer ministry to survivors of SRA for over 35 years, and I'm not aware of another resource to survivors that provides such a wonderful model as this book does for dialoguing with the one who truly accomplishes healing." For somebody who's just starting out on their journey with healing complex trauma, why is it important to develop a dialogue or develop a deeper relationship with God, with the one who truly accomplishes healing? Why is that important for the healing journey, specifically for a survivor?
I've often had questions from people that I, come across, survivors, other prayer ministers, therapists, and I'm often asked, how do people heal without the Lord? I think really it has to do with people maybe not using their gifts from the Lord, but not acknowledging that it came from Him. And so I think, the Lord is involved in everything with human beings, because He made us, He loves us, and He's always right there. But I think when you acknowledge and seek Him and invite Him into the work, it just multiplies that work so much more. The scriptures say, ask, seek, and knock, and you will find, the door will be open, and so on. The Lord meets us when we ask Him. And when you invite the Lord into the work, you're asking the one, as I said in the foreword, the one who truly heals. Our job as prayer ministers, I believe, are to be His witness and to do what we can to model the love that comes from the Lord, and to walk with someone in their journey, whether it be in times of rejoicing because of the healing that's come, or the times that are difficult and painful. We can be there for each other in that way. But I can't heal someone. He brings that. He's the one that does that. And so when you're inviting the Lord into that process, you're inviting the one who loves you intimately, who knows exactly what you need, who will meet you in everything that you're going through, and knows exactly what to say. He is perfect. He knows everything that we need. And I think that is borne out in the journaling that Adena shared with us.
That's so good. Thank you so much, Joe. I don't know for anybody else, but for me, it just feels like it just resonates right here in my heart with your words. So thank you so much for answering that question, especially. We are going to move on to a little bit of readers' theater. Then we're going to circle back to Q&A with both Adena and Joe, and anything that might come out from the two scripts that we're going to read. We're going to read just two very short scenes. These are kind of typical scenes from the book. The characters are Adena, the true family, and several parts. I want to read something before we get started. So Readers Theater actors, you know who you are. Get your reading voices ready, because in about 1 minute we're gonna get started. But I want to read something to you because I think this will kind of set it up. This isn't your typical book. It contains raw, authentic excerpts with Adena's courageous personal journaling with the true God and her parts as she moves through her survivor journey towards wholeness. She shares what she has learned in her own struggles and triumphs, and then offers guidance for other trauma survivors and those who support them. Adena's clear instruction for processing the unthinkable is rare and needed. I just wanted to share that with you because it's a setup really for every single scene in the book, and as you're gonna see as we read, every entry could be a jumping point for guidance with the Lord for your own journaling, and for so much. It's very rich. So let's get started with the first scene. Everyone's got your scripts, and let's get started. Oh, I guess that means me because I'm the narrator. This scene is called Fiery Trials. The scene is the pages of Adena's journal. The time is early morning. I was going to have some bird song, so just imagine bird song. And all are present, the true family, Adena and several of her parts. The title of the scene is Fiery Trials. True family starts this journaling session and this dialogue with a question.
This is a fiery test, darling daughter. Can you stand with us? We do have a way through, and the truth will become clearer.
I am willing if you are with me. Please burn away anything not of you. I step into the flames and look for you. Please purify all of me and refine me as gold. I know your purposes are for my good. Lead me step by step. I give to you the losses. You are my provider, and I know you are more powerful than the enemy. Though you slay me, I will put my trust in you. Help me to be faithful to you. Please strengthen me through this trial.
We are here, and we delight to be with you. We are not ashamed of you and gladly stand with you. Do not be afraid. You are not alone. We will take care of you step by step. You have more courage than you know. Let us strengthen your heart.
Thank you so much, true family. I trust your promises to me. If some of this is suffering righteously, I bless that and I ask for it to multiply to your glory. If this is me exposing my own stuff, I bless that and thank you for revealing. And if it's a combination, I thank you for your severe mercy. You alone are my God, and I choose to put my trust in you. Any parts want to testify? This will help us to face this together.
Several parts chime in.
We feel better when true family is in charge. They are helping us step by step.
We are finding stability in them. We aren't so afraid.
We can rest in them and find peace even in the storm.
We are happier now and less stressed.
They help us through the hard stuff.
They forgive us.
They love us.
They love us even when we've done bad things.
They know how we feel.
They see us.
They don't hate us.
Thank you all so much. See, doesn't that help? I want to testify to those of you who haven't experienced this yet. The true family is so good to us, and they want to help us all. The more we cooperate together, the more healing comes. This includes being able to talk through anything that is currently going on. If you feel you need to do things to protect me or those I love, we can talk through a better way with true family. We can all be set free. Anyone want to talk about this?
We are sorry. We just wanted to scare you into stopping what you are doing. They said it would help you and keep you safe.
Do you see how the cult lies to us always? Thank you for sharing. True Jesus can help us clean this up. They know your heart is good and you've been manipulated into doing things you don't really want to. There is a better way. I forgive you for this.
We are truly sorry.
I know that you are. The promise of true Jesus is that he works all things for good, and we are going to trust him in this. We can trust them to work it out for good for us and for those who have been affected by this. I forgive you.
Thank you. We're just trying to help by scaring you. How can you forgive us? We've done lots of bad things.
True Jesus is the one who made a way for us to walk in forgiveness and to truly experience healing that lasts. We are trusting them for this journey. They will help bring good out of this.
We are so proud of you all. Well done. We are happy to work this all out for good. This is the power of our triumphant love. Nothing is impossible. Do not be discouraged by this. We rejoice in the request and in the repentance. This sets you free in more areas. Learning to testify together helps greatly.
Thank you so much for showing us that. I'm so grateful to everyone for working together on this. Doesn't this feel so much better than when we started? Good teamwork. Whenever any of us are afraid or struggle with doubt or unbelief, we can remember this and we can do this again. How does that sound?
Yay!
There's many more who don't know the good news yet, so you are all free to share with others at any time True Family shows you the good news. Isn't this better than sharing fear?
Yes, we agree. We'd rather do this. It helps us feel better.
We don't push anyone or force anything we don't want to control or manipulate.
We are so very proud of you, Adena. You see the victory from tonight. In your deepest despair, there is light and a way through.
Yay. And that's scene one. And, I'm just reminded as I'm reading through this again and my experience in reading all of Adena's, I remember that by the end of my personal journey of reading it, I had a better, it's almost like it helped me to coalesce the voice of the true family. And I just want to put that out there for just another blessing of this book, that sometimes we struggle to hear God's voice amidst a lot of distortion. And I think true family rings true throughout this whole book. So for me, that was such a blessing. So anyways, I was just reminded of that as we were reading through this. All right, scene two, everyone. Here we go. The scene is, guess what? The pages of Adena's journal. The time is in the middle of the night. Imagine crickets. I would have had the crickets, but we have technical difficulties. The scene title is Lockdown Again. That can be found in the book. All are present. The true family, Adena, and one part in particular that is really struggling, plus a few other parts. Adena starts this journaling session and this dialogue with the question to true family.
I choose to rest in you, true family. Please increase my joy capacity. What do I need to be doing?
Keep focused on us and we will guide you. Receive our love. We know it is not easy. Listen to your parts.
I don't want to.
You don't have to, but if you want to experience more healing and freedom, you will need to face things.
Okay. Anyone have anything you want to say? I am willing to hear you.
Lockdown imminent.
I am asking for no lockdown. I'm sorry I triggered you. It isn't helpful when we lock down. I want to open up and receive God's love for us for healing. I'm limited when you lock down.
We don't want him anyway.
I hear you. True Jesus is really good and loving and caring. Are there parts who know him who would like to testify?
That's just a gimmick. Fake propaganda. He's a charlatan.
I don't believe so, and neither do many of us. Please share.
Several parts chime in.
True Jesus is gentle with us. He is kind and we like him.
He's faithful and hasn't let us down. He cares.
We are finding new life.
Just more programming. Don't you see that? You are crazy. Let this go and come on back. We will show you true love.
No, I have made my choice. I'm going with true Jesus. He is the one who is the most powerful of it all. There is no one who is like him. He alone satisfies.
I see. You are brainwashed, controlled by him. You need reprogramming to know who really loves you.
I know it's hard to know what is true and what is programming, but I have experienced him and I know his love.
I see doubt. You struggle to believe.
Yes, I do. I also know that only true Jesus makes sense and fills me with hope. I am choosing true Jesus. I do not consent to reprogramming. True Jesus has redeemed me and is restoring me. I am safe in him. He is my protector.
We'll see.
True Jesus, I don't know if this was helpful. Please help me. I really need you.
We are here. Don't let this part intimidate you. That is its job. It only has the power you give it. It is connected demonically.
Okay, can you handle that? Please separate out the demonic from my humanity and help set me free. True Jesus, stand between all parts and help me.
I am here.
Please show your power and your love so my parts can know you are real. Please speak peace to every part of me.
Peace, be still. Know my gracious love for you and care beyond what you can think or imagine. We hold you tenderly. You are not alone. We will help you through this. This was not meaningless. Parts testified. This part heard truth. Don't be discouraged. Every little bit is helpful and effective ultimately, even when you feel there is no change. Trust us.
Yay, okay, Reader's Theater, actors take a bow. And that concludes Reader's Theater. Now is have an informal Q&A with anyone. And let's take a look first at the chat and see if we have any questions in the chat.
Someone
Yeah.
had asked about an audiobook and we have talked about it. It would be kind of fun to do all the different voices and have that. We will see. It is a long book. I don't know if we will do that, but it is fun. And I want to say that I chose this portion because of really that conflict with parts, and so that you could see that modeled, but also it's fairly tame in comparison to other parts of the book. And so I just want to put a trigger warning out there that there are parts that are more graphic, and I am not offended if you skip over parts, don't read parts. There is treasure behind triggering. So it's not that all triggering is bad, because that can bring up some stuff for you to process with the Lord. But I don't want to be re-traumatizing. That's the main thing. And so just encourage you to, if you read the book, to read it with the true family and take it bit by bit.
Maybe I'll get the Q&A going just with the questions, kind of piggybacking off what you just said, Adena. What if somebody is reading the book and they do get triggered? What do you suggest that they do?
It's really good if you can connect with somebody that you trust, and can talk through and work through that. Obviously you can with the Lord. Sometimes we need people, and sometimes we always need, the true Lord Jesus, obviously. But there's different times when, I will journal and I can't get to resolution with the true family, and I need to reach out to Joe or to other people who I'm connected with. And so just understanding that God created us to need one another as well as in relationship with them. A lot of times as survivors, we can be very isolated and try to fix ourselves with just the Lord. And he designed us to be in community as well. So just encouragement in that.
Awesome. Let's go to Jenny and then Elizabeth and then Mimi.
So I had a question on because I'm kind of doing the journaling and struggling to kind of know when who is who, or and I was just wondering, when these different parts speak out, do they just pop into your thoughts almost? Because that's what I've been experiencing, but I don't know if that's what
Yes.
it's supposed to be like, I guess.
That's exactly what it is. And so it's just when that thought pops in, and it's looking for attention. And the more that we pay attention and honor that part, the better. I have a whole section in the book called Hate Defense System. And it took me a long time to connect to those parts because I just wanted to push them away. Because when they would say, I hate you, or I hate that person, or that person, or I hate God, you know, it was so different from who I feel I am, at least in my presenter portion, that
Yeah.
it's like, I don't hate, get away from me, get away from me. But that only makes the process longer. It's when we can accept that as a part of us. And even if they have done bad things, that we forgive and model the love of God to them. And that is what will eventually bring that coming together, communicating, and eventually integrating.
Really, really good. Yeah, what's amazing is that you do have quite a few sections in the book where your parts are like a defense system or a whole group that represent a certain emotion and or a certain programming. So fascinating. Elizabeth has a question from the chat. How would you describe the impact of your healing process to this point for Adena?
The impact on me, or yes, okay. As hard as this journey is, I am so very grateful for it. I did not have memories until I turned 50. And then things started to surface. And I was like, this is so weird. Where is this coming from? What's going on? How can that be? Because up to that point, I had been in Christian ministry the majority of my life, had always been in the church, had never rebelled, never done anything bad. Those of you who know me know the story. My worst sin up to that point was my parents were vegetarian and did vegetarian cooking classes when we were growing up. And when my brother and I got old enough that we could stay at home and not go to these crazy vegetarian cooking classes that we'd heard over and over and over and over, guess what we did? We ordered pepperoni pizza. And so that was like the worst sin, because I was a wonderful Pharisee of keeping all the laws and being a good girl. And so it was a pretty shock to me to when these memories began to surface, especially when it began to shift to my participation in forced perpetration. It was really hard for me. But through it, my relationship with the Lord has so completely changed. And the closeness and intimacy with them, I would not trade at all. And, you know, when I was growing up as a child, because I mean, we read the Bible all the time, that was just, you know, part of it is reading that he, you know, the one who forgives has been forgiven much, loves much. And I was always troubled by that because I was like, you know, I see the passion that some people have when they have done all these bad things and then they come to the Lord and they have these great testimonies and they seem so close to the Lord. And I was like, I wish I didn't have such a strong conscience and I could go do some bad sin and then I could repent and then I could be forgiven much. And then I would really feel that love and connection with God. And I had no idea that actually in my cult life, I was doing plenty of bad things that I needed forgiveness for. And that my Pharisaical was just as much missing the mark as a lot of other things too. And so I wouldn't trade this journey for anything, as tough as it is, because of that.
Awesome. Mimi, and then Reba.
Gazing at the beauty of all these faces here, it's so, there's so much love, even though we're all over the place. There's just so much love being radiated here. Well, I'll just ask the question. I mean, I kind of already know the answer, but this is one of those, I can hear some people thinking, kind of, like the way Paul did. So, what would you say to somebody who thinks this is all hogwash in terms of parts, fragmentation, littles, dissociation, and people that might be coming from a finished works perspective, that all the work is already done and all the healing's already done and all of that? I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but I love you, and I know you can handle it. What would you have to say to somebody coming from that perspective that just thinks this is just not even real, what you're talking about?
I understand where they're coming from, and I have family members who are in that place, and it's painful to walk it out. But I would say that this, as I was saying before, this journey is so worth it. And when you experience parts and you hear them and you hear them, the transition of them coming to the Lord, it's like leading someone to the Lord. And it is so, so beautiful. Some people look on the outside and they go, oh, your parts are just controlling you and this, and that. And parts can do that. And we need to be aware of that and not allow that to be happening. When it's done well and in the right way with the true family, it is such a beautiful process. And I just invite people to lay aside their skepticism and to step into it. As far as the finished works, Jesus did finish his work on the cross, which is complete and whole healing for me. And the beauty of the journey of walking out the transformation together. And so this is why I'm excited about my next book about paradoxes, is that the paradox of this journey is in Christ, I am whole and complete right now. And I'm very fragmented and broken still. And I'm in this beautiful journey with the true family, walking it out. And he could do things really fast and quick, and he can do miracles. And in some cases he does. But the process of the step by step and layer by layer and different parts, it is so precious when you experience it, that why would I want to just jump over here to try to be perfect? Because that's the Christianity that I came from, is I'm just in a hurry to be perfect. But when I go, this journey isn't about me being perfect, although a lot of my parts still think that. You'll read that in the book. But this journey is this intimate love relationship with the Lord that is an exciting adventure when we can see it that way. Now, you'll read my journal, and many times it's agony and I'm struggling. But I believe for the triumph of their love. And this is what keeps me going, is it's not just about me being fixed or getting better. This is about the true family and I partner together, not only for my restoration, but the ripple effect that happens, can happen to everybody that I'm connected with, that I was connected with, that there are possibilities for restoration as I trust in them. And for me, that makes it worth it. So I hope that answers that, Mimi.
Really good. Yeah, really good. Last question for this segment will be from Reba, and then we have about 15 more minutes of activities, and then right around 7, we're running a little bit late, we're pretty much on time. Right around 7, we're just gonna leave the Zoom room open. We're just gonna have a really informal conversation. We can go back to Q&A if you want, or we can just chat. It's totally up to us. The official thing kind of ends at 7, but we're going to keep the Zoom room open just to chat if we want to do that. Totally optional. So just so you know, if you have more questions after Reba, just still keep them, and there will probably be time afterwards to circle back to them. Will there be cake? I'm going to go into my fridge and get my cake. I don't know about you, but no. If you have cake in your fridge, we encourage you to eat some. I am praying into a time when we can all get together. There you go. Nick's got some cake for us. That's awesome. Together in person. That is
At the retreat,
amazing.
yes.
Yes, yes. Ooh, I see cake falling everywhere in the chat as well. Cake is just swimming around, it's making me very hungry. So yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about the retreat at 7 if we want to do that. Let's move on over to Reba, and that'll be our last for the Q&A for this section. So go ahead, Reba.
Yes, really enjoyed that reading, and I'm really looking forward to getting that book, Adena. I think it'll be a really amazing experience. Couple of things is one, the Prayer Warriors book that Joe that you put out, that has been a really big thing for me. Your prayers articulate things that I hadn't been able to articulate and that I was questioning and seeking, and it is stating in the prayer some of the things I was struggling with, and yet I didn't know what the struggle was really. So this and then just giving some words and directions to the prayer has to and connecting to God and a true family. It's been very helpful. You know, I and I'm still working with it. You know, I got the second book, and they're very powerful and significant. So thank you for that, Joe. And then the true family, Adena, that you've showed to me that transformations has brought. I mean, that's just a new way for me to approach God, because I think part of the, you know, I was in a church family in a way as a child, very conservative, dry, stoic, but whatever, and then went away from it, and then coming back to have this a relational uh, place with God is resonating and very helpful. So just thanks to both of you. It's been really good for me.
Thank you so much, Reba. I'm so glad to have you part of our community, our family. And I just want to make sure people know that my heart is that this goes to anybody who needs it. And so I do have a PDF copy. And if you cannot afford it for any reason, just message me and I'd be happy to get the PDF copy to you. So just let me know.
In fact, I'm going to do a screen share right now. Hopefully this works. And let's see, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is how we can order the book. The book is available on Amazon right now. It is on Amazon right now in Kindle and hardcover. It's kind of paperback like Muriel was showing you. You can go to the author site at adenahodges.com. This is a brand new author site that features our amazing Adena, not just this book, but all of the books that she's written in the past and more to come. So adenahodges.com is always going to be the place to go to check out the latest books. You can go there, read a little bit about it, share that site with friends. You can order directly from there. That'll actually go to Amazon at this point. And like Adena was saying, if you just want a simple PDF copy of this, if you have a tight budget or you just want to check it out in just simple PDF form, so you won't be able to read this on a Kindle, it'll just be on your computer or your phone. Email Adena at adenahodges@transformations.com. And did you say that there was a link as well, Adena, at this point for them to go directly, or do you want them to just email at this point?
So if they want it for free, please email me.
Okay.
But the books are also available in PDF form on the transformations.community website under store. So there's several different places you can get it.
Okay, so that's another one. Yeah, I'll put that link as well in the chat while we're chatting after this is over. But everybody just take a screenshot of that. Amazon, author site, transformations.community, and email Adena at transformations.com for a simple PDF for free. Absolutely free, because Adena's heart is that this just goes out to as many people as possible. So that's so generous. Also, we really, really appreciate reviews on Amazon. That really helps us to, as you guys probably know, every review helps to bring the book up in the ranking, and we really want to hear from you. So if you have an Amazon account, you bought it from Amazon, then that qualifies you to do a review, and we really encourage you to do that. So we just wanted to put that out as well. All right. Everybody that is in on the surprise do we want to have a couple of minutes to get our surprise ready? Okay.
Happy
Birthday, Adena!
Happy birthday.
We got it together.
Thank you.
So everybody, if you have a glass of water, if you have a candle, this is not planned, but whatever kind of drink that you have, juice, sparkling water, we're just gonna hold up a glass. We're just gonna do a quick toast to our beautiful, beautiful friend. Most of all, Adena, you're a friend, and we so admire your friendship. We are so happy that you were born today. So not happy doesn't cut it. We're elated that you were born and that you continue to live and thrive within the Lord, that you created transformations, that you've helped so many people, that your beauty shines, and that you walk with the Lord so beautifully, and you're such an example for all of us. So we admire your courage, your strength, your creativity, and we just honor you. We bless you today on your birthday. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
my friend.
Oh,
Where's that
thank
cake?
you.
I want cake.
Oh, thank you all so, so, so very much. Like I said earlier, each one of you are so precious to me. I love seeing all your faces, and Carrie, your granddaughter, she's so beautiful. And thank you for celebrating with me today and for standing with me. This journey is not an easy one. There's been points in the last couple of years when I didn't think I was going to make it. And many of you stood by me and encouraged me to continue moving forward. And I'm just so, so, so very grateful to each one of you. Thank you.